while back, I made a video about the filming locations for the movie Falling Down. If you haven't seen it, I'll put a link to it at the end of this video. Now, I want to say I got about 95% of the locations, but one thing that I wasn't able to properly show was the big ending at the pier. And that's because when I showed up, the pier was closed, and I actually found out it had been under construction for about a year. I said that I would eventually come back to the pier and make a follow-up video. Honestly, I forgot. Life got in the way, I had other videos to make, but I got a lot of messages about it. I still get messages from all of you asking when I'm gonna make that follow-up video. So I guess it's something that you all wanna see. So today, we're gonna head out to the pier, we're gonna match up those shots. We're also gonna go to some other Falling Down locations, and I'm gonna show you how those have changed since I made that first video. And then we're gonna take a look at a map, and I'm gonna show you how long it would have actually took him to walk from location to location, how his day would have been in real life. So today, we're taking a second look at Falling Down filming locations. Let's go see what we can find. All right, it looks like the pier is open and back in business. See people running and walking on it. No more chain link fence, so we are good to go. So this is it. This is where the finale of the movie takes place. Now, of course, it looks a lot different out here without that little food shack at the end of the pier. So he would have been running down the pier. You can see all of those buildings behind him. Now, the shot was actually taken from out here because you can see this wall. Right here is where he was running. Running all the way down there to the end of the pier. This is on the corner of Sunset Boulevard and Crescent Heights, and this was the shopping center where he uses the payphone and then ends up shooting it up, and there was that giant Sir Mix-a-Lot inflatable butt behind him. A lot of people didn't notice that, and honestly, I didn't notice it the first few times I watched the movie either, but now I can't unsee it. But yeah, this is where that shopping center was, and I believe when I did my video, the only thing that was still in business was the McDonald's. The entire right side of the shopping center was gated off, but since then, everything has been torn down. It's now just a big, empty dirt field with weeds growing in it, and it's been like that for a while. Not sure what's going to become of it. The odds are they're going to put up a big apartment building or office building. I'm sure nothing interesting, but yeah, unfortunately that shopping center is long gone. And yeah, it is a bummer that this shopping center is gone, because it was a part of Sunset Boulevard. When you would cruise down Sunset going over to the Strip, you would pass right by this. The McDonald's always stood out. It's right across the street from the Chateau Marmont. Not sure if I'm saying that right. I'm not fancy. It's also right across the street from what used to be the Coconut Teaser, which is long gone. I don't even know what that is anymore. But my point is this shopping center was here for a really long time, and it was part of West Hollywood and Sunset Boulevard. Also on Sunset Boulevard, but much further east in the Silver Lake area, this was the Army-Navy store. Of course, a very famous scene. This is where he comes to get a new pair of boots, and he ends up having an altercation with the owner of the store. Now, when I came here to film, I was very shocked when I found that the store had closed down, because this is one that had been here for all of my life, and this was like a staple of this area. So I couldn't believe it when I found out that it wasn't here anymore. They were actually doing construction inside when I came here to make my video, and I peeked inside and showed it, but at that time it was really just a big empty building. But again, very sad to see that Army-Navy store go, because it was here for a very, very long time, and it now appears to be, I think this is a clothing store called Wasteland. All right, so what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna put all of the locations that Defense goes to in the movie, we're gonna put them into maps, and we're gonna take a look at how many miles he would have walked and how long it would have took him to walk to all of these locations. Now, obviously, I realize that this is just a movie, it's not real life, and he's not actually supposed to be walking that many miles in the movie, but this is just for fun. Because if you don't live in LA, you might watch the movie and you don't really realize where all of these things are, you don't realize how big LA is, and so you don't think about it. So he starts out on the 110 freeway and the 101 freeway, but we're gonna put this address on Temple Street because that gets us really close to where he would have been. He then goes to the liquor store. He uses the payphone that's across the street from the liquor store and then goes into the market. Now they actually use two locations for the market, one for the exteriors and then one for the interiors. The one that's the exterior of the market, that's just a facade. That was never actually there. They built that just for the movie. And then it's a different liquor store for the inside. But we're just gonna go ahead and use the location where they built the exteriors, because that's the same spot where he uses the payphone. All right, so you can already see it's a pretty long distance just from where he was on the freeway to the market. After that, he stops at the hill to try and fix his shoes, and that's where he runs into the gang members and chases them off. And from there, he heads to the spot where the drive-by shooting happens. And you can already see just these first four spots are pretty spread out. And after that, he heads over to the park. And you can also see how he's kind of zigzagging around LA. So after the park, he gets hungry and he heads over to Whammy Burger, and that's actually a really long distance from the park. He has to go way down south to Linwood. And you also might notice that he's going in the complete wrong direction. He started right over here and he's trying to get to this area, but he's zigzagging back and forth, and then he's going way down south. After that, he buys the snow globe for his daughter. That was over here on Wilshire. Then he stops to make another phone call on Sunset. That's where the big Sir Mix-a-Lot inflatable butt is. And then he heads to the Army Surplus store, which is also on Sunset, but way far east. You can see he goes all the way back over here. Next is the spot where he comes across the construction and he fires the rocket launcher. And for this one, he goes way down south again. And next is the golf course where he hops the fence to cut through. And this is another one that's way out of the way, all the way over there. And then finally from the golf course, he heads to his old house in Venice, California, 18 Speedway. And so from City of Industry, he goes all the way over here to Venice. And, you know, he did all that zigzagging in the middle. And then from his old house, he heads over to the Venice Fishing Pier, which is not too far, but again, a little bit further than what it looks like in the movie. It kind of makes it look like he just jogs around the corner, but it's a little bit of a stretch. All right, so let's see. In the end, if he were to walk this, not drive it because he was walking, this was 124.3 miles, and it would have took him 55 hours and 49 minutes to walk all of that. And hopefully this also will give all of you a little bit of an idea when I go out to film these videos, you know, how much traveling around Los Angeles I have to do. You know, just for this one video, it's 124 miles of driving around Los Angeles. So, you know, again, I get it. It's just a movie. He wasn't really supposed to be walking 124 miles, but in reality, he would have been. All right, that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this little follow-up on the locations for Falling Down. Again, if you have not seen my original video, I'm going to put a link to it right here in just a couple of seconds. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.